Welcome to Garden Delights. I'm Susan Howington, Family Consumer Science Agent with the Henry County Cooperative Extension, partnership with the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension. Today we're going to talk about corn. We're also going to hear from Frank Hancock, our Agriculture and Natural Resource Agent, and he's going to talk about a garden system. So we'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden Delights. Welcome back to Garden Delights. Today we're talking about corn. And you know, I love corn, but let's talk about why it's so good for you. It is really a great thing to have around any time, but especially when it's in season. So let's talk about how good it is for you. As far as the nutrition goes, it is low in fat, low in saturated fat, cholesterol free, and low in sodium. Now, it's going to be very good in your fiber. So if you're looking for fiber, corn is a place to be as far as putting it on your menu. It is also very good in vitamin A and vitamin C. It has a lot of potassium in it. Now, as far as the calories go, this is to me a small ear. So about a medium ear is about 75 calories. So a medium ear, this would maybe just a little bit less than 75 calories. So that's what you're looking for as far as the calories. It depends on really the size of the corn. This to me is a small ear, but about a medium is going to be about 75 calories. Now, as far as selection, you know, if you grow your own, you're going to be able to look when it's ready. It's going to be a good green color. It's going to be filled out really nicely. And you're going to be looking for a nice green husk. You're going to be looking to feel when you're, even at the grocery store, you're going to try to feel to see if it has the kernels that are plump, that they feel juicy. And you're going to be able to do that. Even if you're picking your own corn, you want to try to just kind of break it just a little bit to kind of see what kind of kernels you have, because that also tells you if the corn is all filled out like it needs to be, because you don't want to purchase corn that has spots where it's not filled out. So you're looking to make sure you have that great corn that's all filled out. So when you're buying it, same thing when you're picking it off your own ears of corn. If you have a garden with corn, you want to look to make sure that it's all filled out. Now, as far as the storage goes, your corn can stay in your refrigerator just like this about 1 to 2 days. Sometimes you can buy it at the grocery store, the shuck's already off, and you buy it like this. So you're looking for about 1 to 2 days, and after that, hopefully you've got a recipe in mind, you're going to use it. If not, corn does freeze very well. So just keep that in mind, that if you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, just remember you can freeze it too. So when we come back, we're going to hear from Frank, and he's going to talk about a garden system. We'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden of Life.
Okay, today we're out here with Russell Perry. Russell called me 2 or 3 weeks ago, wanted me to look at a little system he has developed here for growing a garden. And as you can see here from his garden, I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit about it here. He's got some vegetables growing and things are looking pretty good. And then when we get through looking at this, his son is gonna tell us about how this system works and how you put it down. So, Russell, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
We planted 14 rows of gardening system here in 4 hours on an average of 17 minutes per unit. All above ground, no tilling, no plowing. It's very simple, very easy, and sometimes I'm amazed at how well it does. Here we have cucumbers, we have better boys, we have okra, we have bell peppers, then we have Rucker tomatoes, and moving right up here, we have squash. We picked these 2 days ago, then I got to pick them again today. Right here we had 4 cooked butter beans, or lima beans. They're blooming out real good. This was all planted on May the 2nd. Here we have getting ready to have some blooms on the purple hull crowder peas. And then we had some lettuce and radishes. The first time I've ever done this before. I was just experimenting. And then we went with the blue legs here and I've got a crop of beans in there right now to get ready to be picked.
Okay, so this system here, it's all on top of the ground.
All on top of the ground. All you have to do.
There's no tilling that took place here.
Right here, this dirt right here is where you put your garden.
And all of the things that you're growing it in are biodegradable. So when you get finished, you just mow it down with a lawnmower, and it goes away till next year when you can plant it somewhere else.
That's right, absolutely. I've planted this system over here for 3 years, been experimenting, make sure it works, different types of plants, and basically just your veggies. The only thing you cannot plant, to be honest with you, is asparagus. You have to dig a trench on that. But other than that, everything above ground. I've got corn over there, and of course we got our green beans over there. So it's a good, easy system. It's clean, all biodegradable.
All right, well, I think what we're going to do now is go over here and let Russ show us how to put this system together. This is Russell Perry's son, Russ, and I'm going to just let him explain to you how this garden comes in a little bag here.
Right. We have developed an above-ground gardening system. Like Frank mentioned, no tilling, no digging, no planter boxes needed. Everything that's in this package that I'm going to pull out is 100% biodegradable. So with that, I want to show you the different pieces of the product, and then my assistant Nick and I will end up putting all this in the on top of the ground for you. So basically, the system comes in 2 parts. One is a walking paper in between the rows. Okay, allows you to get to your garden, tend to it, pick it, as well as the main system.
And that paper is a little heavier thickness. It helps control weeds between the beds, and so it'll be the heavier piece.
And then we have a lighter system here that's perforated with holes. We're actually going to put the system, install the system on. And of course, you do want to take a look at your seed packets. They'll tell you spacing, they'll tell you depths and things of that nature. But I'm going to start here now and go ahead with Nick and install this system.
Also in the package, to me, this is the neatest part of the whole thing. And I'm going to let that paper go over there. The system that he's got for putting this paper down, I thought was very unique. He found a little stake here that is biodegradable that he can push the paper down with. And he's got a biodegradable piece of cardboard here that spreads the load out over the paper. So when he puts this down, it is very secure. The wind doesn't bother it at all. And so that's also in this bag. So that's a neat part, and he'll show you how that works here as he goes along.
The first step, now each system does come with the main system itself and the walking paper. So all we're going to do here is just tap onto the edge of an existing one that we've had growing now for 2 weeks. So you can see it's a little bit windy today. We came prepared with some additional stakes. You can use 2x4s, blocks of wood, anything you need to do to keep the system down while you're installing it. Anything around the house will work temporarily. Just run it out that way. So you want about 3 inches of overlap on this. And what we'll do here is just toss a few stakes, or if you're doing it by yourself, you just work your way right down the paper. So you hammer the green stake in, slide the white spread stick down, and just tap it in just like that. Right now we're going to install the main system. We're going to make this work. And what we like to do with this is actually tuck it underneath roughly 3 inches. And we'll stake right here on the corner. There are rocks in this ground. This is hard Georgia red clay that we are hammering into here. Okay, so you can see now we have the tin on this side of the walking paper. At this point, what Nick and I are going to do is we're going to fold the top sheet back. Go ahead and, because of wind, we'll put an anchor there. Anything around the house will work. And then we're going to do garden soil down on the bottom sheet. Go ahead and rake it all in, Nick. And just push to the X and leave a gap on these 3 sides. So what we're going to do now, Nick is actually going to move the garden soil around here, and you can push all the way to the back up against the upper sheet here, and you're going to leave a little bit of space around the edges where you want to put your stakes.
So the perforations in this paper are also going to allow the roots to just go through the paper on the bottom if they want to reach down a little deeper than what you got
That's
here.
right.
And also let water flow through here.
One other thing I'd like to mention here, more often than not, you will see this. Throw another half bag on probably, and then we'll save a half bag. When you start seeing a teepee effect with the top sheet, in other words, your plants are sprouting. I've let them. Some will grow through, maybe some won't. At that point, peel the top sheet back and reveal the plants. What this does, it really does create a lot of heat inside the system here. The top sheet does, and you do get some pretty quick sprouting on these seeds. So you've got 3 to 4 inches around the edges. Tied up against the top sheet seam right here. At this point, what we like to do is add our fertilizer at this point. So we're using 2.5 cups of 10, 10, 10 just on this 12-foot section. And once I get done broadcasting this, Nick is going to rake this into the system itself. So really all you need to install this system from a tools perspective is a hammer and a rake. That's it. Okay, at this point we're just going to broadcast some seed through here. Again, pay attention to your seed packets on quantities, spacing. Okay, now at this point we're going to take our remaining garden soil, and we're going to cover these green beans roughly an inch, inch and a half. So, and handful method works well, so we don't use it all up. And I'm just going to come in here just like this, right on the tops here. Okay, at this point, what I like to do is go back with the rake and just do a light tamp on it. If you have any that pop through, you need to add a little more soil to, you can do that. Okay, I had 3 or 4 here just to put a little light dusting on each one of these. Okay, that is the end of planting the actual seeds here. At this point, what we're going to do is actually flip the top sheet back over, and we're going to anchor the remaining sides of it. Okay. Again, about 3 inches in works fine. Roughly a foot apart. So at this point, we like to douse it with a big good stream of water on it. And it doesn't hurt to do that every day. And again, once you see the paper will turn very moist, and you'll start almost having a TP effect underneath the paper. Again, some of the sprouts will come through the paper, some won't, but at that point, go ahead and pull your paper back, and you'll be left with basically this look right here.
When you finish with this, because everything is biodegradable, they just cut it down with a lawnmower. So I guess if you got a place in your yard where the grass is not growing, need a little organic matter ordered, you can put a garden there, and then you'll have a buildup of organic matter because of the garden when you mow it down. And now we're going to go in the kitchen and see what Susan's fixing.
Welcome back to Garden Delight. Today we're talking about corn, but we're going to make a spicy lime corn salad. And I already have some corn already cut off the cob, and I'm going to use this piece, and I have washed my corn, so make sure when you're going to use whatever you're going to use, make sure you wash it. So I have some already cut up, and the recipe is going to tell you about 4 cups. Depending on the size of the corn is what you're going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off right now and add it to my corn. Now, I know a lot of people cut it different ways. Some people lay it on a cutting board and cut it off, but I'm just going to kind of tilt it right here in this bowl that I already have the corn, and I'm going to cut it off. And to me, I like doing this because it just keeps the corn more confined to one area. And if you don't watch it, it'll be all over your place and all over your counter. And it's just to me less cleaning as far as that goes. So I'm just going to get this a little bit more, and you can see that a corn. Now, if you're making cream corn, you'd want to scrape the kernels a little bit more after I cut them off to get some of that cream. But I'm just going to do this for right now. And I'm going to set my cob right over here out of the way. And I'm going to use this to sit right here. And the next thing we're going to do is I want to kind of speed it up a little bit because I've got to mix all these ingredients. But in order to do that, I've got to get this corn to where it's charred just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, and my skillet is already hot, and so you do want it up on a little bit of a high heat. I'm going to add some olive oil, and this is maybe about a teaspoon or so of olive oil, and I'm going to go ahead and add it in there. And we're going to end up putting all this corn into that skillet, and it's already kind of bubbling. I know it's getting hot, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. So we're just going to heat it up at a high heat, and you can hear it sizzling right now, so I know the heat is about where I need it. And I'm going to have to stir it every once in a while, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't overcook. But all I want to do is to get it to where I have it as much charboiled, it's charred as far as that goes in the corn. So I'm going to try to get it all off because I'm going to also try to use the same bowl to mix everything in once this is ready. This will keep the bowl from getting too hot too, so I'm going to just kind of stir this around. So it's going through the process, and you know, when you cook, whatever you're cooking, it doesn't matter. It just, the enzymes, everything is going to turn a different color. So I can see that my corn is already turning a different color, and it smells really, really good. So for the corn salad, you have to mix up a pretty good bit of ingredients, but it's going to be really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and what I have is some mayonnaise, and this is about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, so it's not that much, but it is fat-free. So I did use fat-free mayonnaise. I'm going to stack this right here. This is about 1/2 of a red pepper chopped, so I'm going to add this to it. Keep stacking. This is about 1/2 of a red onion, so I'm going to add that. And this is about 5 to 6 green onions, so I'm going to add it also. So I have 2 types of onions in it. And then we also have a 10-ounce can of tomatoes and peppers that you can, different brands out there, but I do have it drained, so you want to make sure you drain it really well. So I'm going to add that. So then this is, get my plastic off. This is about 3 tablespoons of lime juice. So I told you it's going to be a spicy lime salad. So I'm going to go ahead and add the lime juice to it. And this is from concentrate, but you could use also a lime if you wanted to, but you want about that many tablespoons. And then also you're going to add just a little bit of, this is about like 1 minced garlic. You're going to have 1 minced garlic. You're going to have also about 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Oh, and I want to make sure I get it all out. And then we're also going to have 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. So this is going to give it some other spice to it. And we're going to give about 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper. So this is going to give a little bite. And if you don't like really hot things, you may want to eliminate that part of it. And then this is a little bit of salt and pepper that is also going to tell you to add for taste also. So I'm just stirring this around right now because this is what's going to go into the corn to give it a really nice flavor. And I can smell the cumin already, the spices, and it smells really good. So this is going to add a lot of good color. It's going to get it really mixed up really well. And I'm going to check on my corn. And it's already charred. I can smell it at the base of it, and it's kind of browning just a little bit, and that's what I want because I do want to cool it down just a little bit before I add the other mixture to it. So I want to make sure I get it a little bit more browner. Just about where I want it. It's getting brown. And I'm going to just let it sit there a little bit longer. Once I mix this in with the corn, the last ingredients is going to be a little bit of cheese, and this is feta cheese. It's about 1/2 cup. If you don't want to use cheese, you can use an alternative as far as maybe some other type of cheese if you wanted to, or cilantro and not use cheese at all. So it's up to you as far as what you would like to do with it. All right, so I think this is about good enough. Because all I want to do is just kind of cook it a little bit to get a little brown on it. I'm going to cut this off. And what I want to do, one good thing about this is I can touch my handle. Normally when you're cooking, you can't touch your handle because the handle's too hot. But this is one good thing about this is I can just add it and not have to worry about the handle. All right, so let's get this as much as possible into the skillet. I got most of it out of the skillet, so and I'm just gonna set this back on here. And I'm just gonna kind of mix it around, just around the bowl, just to kind of cool it down just a little bit. And normally it's gonna tell you in the recipe, but I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up. It's gonna tell you just to let it cool down just for a little bit. I'll make sure this doesn't get too hot. And I think, by the way, I had a piece of corn on it. You know, corn was just like popcorn, it will pop. We're gonna mix this into the corn now, and this will cool it off because I did have this in the refrigerator, so all this was kind of chilled anyway, so this will cool the corn off a little bit. So I'm going to mix all this into the corn, and to me it makes it really nice as far as the color that it's going to give it. So I'm going to just mix it up. I'm going to move this around just a little bit because I really want you to see the colors. And the last ingredients I have is just the feta cheese. So I'm going to mix this around. This will cool the corn in also. But isn't it a beautiful colors? And the cumin, I can smell all of it. It smells really, really good. And I almost have it all mixed in. And this is a great dish to serve anybody, anytime. It is so tasty. When we come back, I'm going to go ahead and put the cheese on right before Frank and I get a chance to taste it. So we'll see you back in just a little bit on Garden Delights. Welcome back to Garden Delights. Well, Frank, we have spicy lime corn salad.
Spicy lime corn salad.
Yes, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
I don't believe I've ever had any of that.
Well, let's try it. I will tell you, the corn could be a little bit hot because that's the recipe. You're supposed to kind of char the corn just a little bit.
All right.
Now, I want to ask you, would you like some feta cheese on top?
Might as well.
Okay, then. Let's just do that, too. All right. You are
Okay.
ready. I'll put a little bit on mine, too. Is it spicy enough for you?
It is. It's a little bit spicy, but it's good.
It's really good. It's got a little red pepper, so it gives a little bite to it.
That's a little bite.
That's good. The corn is very
Well, you know, our
fresh.
corn up in the garden got knocked down by the storm a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But it stood back up.
That is a good thing because we need some corn, don't we?
Yep. Well, we went over today and looked at Russell Perry's garden. He's got a little system that he's doing there to grow vegetables without doing a lot of work to prepare the place that you're going to grow them. So I don't know what the end result's going to be, but it was interesting to go over and look at what he's doing. So that's what we did this morning.
Well, and I see that you're going to probably start one in our back of our building too to see what it's going to be like. That'll be great.
We did. We planted one back there. We got some peppers planted in it.
Sounds really good. Well, Frank and I are going to continue to eat. Check out the website for the recipe. And we'll see you back next time on Garden Delights.
All right.